You did not have your license siren on at the time. You got about 100 yards.
So
no, actually, you got into my lane. You about and then as I pulled out, as you pulled out, you had no license and sirens on.
So I'm sorry that you're upset, sir.
But I'm not gonna.
What she's worried about, she has a child that's out here, and people abduct kids.
But did she accuse me of?
About that.
Listen to me as a mom. You see, you're.
I'm a father, okay?
Well then, or
So,
as a father, listen
yes.
to me as a mom.
Welcome to Mr. White, the place where real encounters between law enforcement and the people unfold before your eyes. Under the scorching Florida sun and the heavy silence along Nova Road, a citizen confronted Port Orange police officers head-on after a patrol vehicle nearly caused an accident. Without lights, without sirens, no collision, no crime. Just one clear question: who is held accountable when those endangering others are the very people sworn to protect? Just days later, in a gated Texas neighborhood managed by an HOA with no posted signs or visible boundaries, a man quietly sitting in his car for over 4 hours became the target of suspicion. He refused to show ID, stood firm under the Fourth Amendment, and found himself face to face with a pushy officer, a professional one, and a concerned neighbor worried about her child. 2 states, 2 encounters, 2 ordinary citizens, but one undeniable truth: when you know your rights, stay calm, and refuse to back down, you shift the balance of power. These aren't clickbait confrontations. They are real-world stress tests of civil liberty in modern America. Watch the full uncut moments on American Audit 360 and LAC Audit, channels that document raw, unfiltered interactions between authority and the people. And if you believe freedom should never stay silent, subscribe to Mr. White, turn on notifications, and drop a W in the comments. You're watching, you're learning, and you're standing on the side of truth.
Name and badge number.
I'm Officer McDowell. What can I do for you?
What's your badge number or ID number?
4793.
Thank you. And your name?
I'm Nate Ingram. I'm an officer with them too.
And your name and badge number and
Can I ask
title.
you what's troubling you?
I'm asking you for your name and badge number.
I don't have one.
You have one.
Hold on.
Do you have an ID number?
No, not yet.
Do you have a business card? Oh, you're training? Oh, shouldn't even be talking to you. Yeah, you don't need to know. I'm sorry. I do not consent to searches or seizures. I'm sorry, I don't consent.
I can run your tag whenever I
You
want.
do whatever you want to, but I'd like to know which one of you in that SUV or one of these SUVs was on pulling off Nova Road out of the parking lot there a second ago.
With my lights and siren on?
Nope, you did not have your lights and siren on at the time. You got about 100 yards.
So I was headed to the center right here.
No, actually, you got into my lane. You about
Did I?
yeah, and then as I pulled out, as you pulled out, you had no license and sirens on. I don't have to give you any information. But I just want to know, you stopped, you came over into my lane. You did come over into my lane. You about hit me. You can call whoever you want to, man. But you came over into my lane. You almost hit me. Then you slammed on your brakes, and then you turned your license and sirens on. It was a very dangerous move you made.
So I'm sorry that you're upset, sir.
Where's your sergeant?
At the PD. I invite you to go over there. And
I don't have to go anywhere.
Okay.
But you know you're in the wrong, so don't even try to cover up and lie about the shit, because you pulled out with no license or siren. You got about 50 to 75 yards down the damn road. Trust me, I was right beside you. You came over into my lane. You come over into my lane, and then you slammed on your brakes and put your sirens on. Your license, your lights and sirens.
All right, Jason. Is there anything I can do for you?
Yeah, I want you to obey the when you don't have your license, your lights and sirens on. That's what I want you to do.
Okay. Well, you have a nice day, all right?
Yeah, you too, punk.
Thank you for watching this far in the first video on a busy roadway in Port Orange, Florida, a city of over 64,000 residents with a dense traffic network. A citizen was nearly struck by a patrol car that failed to use lights or sirens. But instead of walking away or staying silent, he confronted 2 officers with a simple demand: identification and an explanation. The result? No apology, no accountability. This moment proves one thing: when your safety is at risk, knowledge of your civil rights is your strongest shield. You don't need to raise your voice, and you don't need to show your ID unless there is legal justification. Stay calm, keep the camera rolling, and ask the right question. Am I being detained? If not, you have the right to walk away. The law does not grant immunity to anyone, not even those in uniform. Now, we move to the second video. In a quiet Texas neighborhood, a citizen sitting in his car becomes a suspect simply for doing nothing. But this time, it's not just about silence. It's about turning suspicion into a lesson for officers and neighbors alike. Stay with us.
We're in the Millsboro Police Department. The reason why we're making contact, some lady came out to report that you've been sitting out here for over 4 hours.
Okay.
And we're just trying to find out what the deal is, what's going on.
I'm sitting here minding my business, not doing anything.
You got any credentials?
I'm not going to provide that just because of a call. Burnville, Texas.
You told her that you're correct?
Yeah, that's what I told her.
Okay. Do you have any credentials?
Yeah, but I don't want to provide that right now.
Why not?
Huh?
Why not?
Because it's optional, and I just don't want to provide it right now.
What's that?
Because it's optional.
If you're you have to provide credentials to what you're going on, and you have to report it to the dispatch center that you're out here.
No, but I didn't tell you that I was. I told her I was. I'm not telling you that I'm one.
Well, this is private property, you know.
This what is private property?
What is private property?
This roadway here?
This road is private property.
How is this road private property?
Because it is. It's a development. It's run by the HOA.
Where's the sign that says private property? There's no signs that says trespassing there. There's a public street, and there's no signs that says private parking there or private property. There's absolutely no signs. There's none.
There actually is, probably out in the main entrance.
Where?
So I actually know where the HOA person lives.
Well, over there is probably private property, but not here.
This is a private property road.
This is not a private property road.
Is,
this is accessible from the public. That's a public street there.
It might be accessed from the public, but this is private property.
Well, no one asked me.
This is an HOA run development.
No one asked me to leave. Hey, can I have your name, please?
Yeah, it's Officer Shockley.
Officer Shockley and Officer Bullock.
Oh, can I get a badge number?
1098.
Can I get a badge number?
1082.
1082, okay. Yeah. So even if it's private property, the owner has to ask me to leave, and this is a public street. I already did a GIS survey. I already did it.
Investigator, we can also remain out here until you're completed your investigation. So
it's a free country. I mean,
you're right.
Of course. I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but I'm not gonna.
What she's worried about, she has a child that's out here, and people abduct kids.
But did she accuse me of
about that?
Did she accuse me of abducting anyone?
No, but she's worried about it. It's a safety.
I'm worried about a lot of things too, but I don't be calling the cops on people for every little issue. If there's no crime, unless there's a crime, right?
You're right. Yeah.
Well, your tag doesn't come back to anything, so I'm going to be running everything else.
So, if you don't mind me asking, what are you investigating?
Huh?
What are you investigating? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I just don't like to identify just because someone calls. You understand that? I just don't like to identify just because someone called. Burnville, Texas State, absent RAS. There's no probable cause for you guys to get my information. And that's the reason why I don't want to call. I know he's going to probably want some retribution because I know my rights. But I'm not asking that lady to identify. I gave her a courtesy of telling her what I'm doing here when she approached me. And I thought that was the end of it, but apparently not. I didn't have to. I could have stayed silent and not say a single word. Right? And it's my right not to identify.
Why she's concerned?
I have a lot of concerns too, but if I'm not breaking the law, right? Should I identify? Should I just give up my Fourth Amendment rights?
Well, no one's asked you for your information.
Yeah, he did.
Okay.
That officer did.
Well, you don't have to give it to him.
I know, but you heard what he said just now.
What?
I have your tags. I'm going to run your information. I'm going to run everything. Just because they invoked my rights. You think that's fair? I'm not doing anything
you're parked
wrong.
on a public street.
Yeah. A lot of people park in a public street. That car is parked in a public street.
So, you're right. It's a public roadway. So you can park here. We're more concerned about what's going on.
Yeah, but I dispelled your fears.
Yeah,
I said
you're right. Okay.
What I'm doing. You guys have the tags, so no, you know, right? And not a single person reported a crime. They're just a suspicious car. Suspicion is not a felony or a misdemeanor.
Yeah, I know.
Right?
That's why we made contact with you.
Exactly. And I'm talking to you, right? I didn't have to say a word. I could have just stayed silent the entire time, but I'm not that type of rude person who just doesn't say anything. We're all humans, right? So I prefer to just communicate a little bit, but I'm not going to give up my rights just because of her fears. At no point in time did I trespass on anyone's property. I stayed in my car. This is the safest place I can be.
Yeah, and I told you why we made contact with you.
I heard you.
Okay.
I heard you.
So,
yeah. But
do you have any questions?
Yeah, am I gonna be is there gonna be some sort of retribution just because they invoked my rights by this guy here? I understand. You sound reasonable. You sound like a professional, honestly. There are not too many cops who are professional like you and level-headed.
Yeah, I
I
appreciate that. You're right. It seems like you know your laws.
Yeah, I'm very much aware of all of them, yeah.
But no, we're good to go as long as you don't have any more questions.
Yeah, and you can be very fair. I'm not disrespectful to either of you. I just want to invoke my rights and be left alone because I will try to tell people, okay? If in my neighborhood someone parks a car, they're there for several hours, of course I'd be concerned, right?
Yeah.
But what I would do is just document their license plate number, take a picture of the car, but I'm not going to call the cops on someone for no reason.
Yeah.
You know, if I see them trying to sneak into someone's property, well, that's a different story, right? But someone just sitting in their cars, you know, I got to understand their fears can't trump people's rights, you know, to just be here on a public street.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, I wouldn't do that to your son. I mean, I'm just assuming you have a son or whatever. No matter what color they are, I wouldn't do it. And maybe that's something that people need to be aware of, you know?
Yeah, but you have to understand the day and time we're in.
Listen, it's always been danger from way back then to now. We're in the safest times we've ever been in right now with the level of security that we have. Okay?
Yeah.
Things were worse back then. We have a lot of security. There are cameras everywhere. The minute you call a cop, they're here.
That doesn't mean things don't happen.
No, things do happen. Don't get me wrong. But nothing is happening here. Right? And things happen everywhere. So we can't be calling you guys for every single little thing. Imagine if everyone did that. You guys would be stretched thin. Right? From one call to the next. To the next, to the next, to the next. Imagine that. We got to use... We got to be rational and think about when we call the cops, man, instead of wasting resources like this. Say, ma'am, hey, do you have the license plate number? We have the tags, and we'll send an officer just to drive by and observe. And I think that's how it should be.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean,
well,
I hope you agree and understand where I'm coming from.
Yeah, I hear you. But I'm going to get out of here, okay?
I appreciate you, man. All right, do you have a car? Can I get a incident, the CAD number? I want to request that 911 call and hear exactly what that person said.
So they came to our police department.
Oh, they actually came all the way there?
Yeah.
Huh. Well, the incident number then, so I can...
Let me go get it for him.
Thank you. All right. 24. All right, thanks for your professionalism. I'm surprised she actually went to you guys because normally I never tell them what I'm doing. I gave her that courtesy and she still went. So you see the reason why I don't talk to them? I don't tell anyone why I'm here. They still call the cops regardless. It's a waste of time. So.
All right. Well, you have a good one.
You too, man.
This is a lot of attention in front of my house. I'm not going to do anything. I'm just wondering why all this attention in front of my house. I don't feel...
I gave you the courtesy by telling you what I was doing here to dispel any fears, and yet you still went and called the cops on me. I'm on a... You just said you went there. You're the only person who I told what I was doing, so it is you.
No, I told my neighbors that that's why you were here, because we've all talked.
Well, I'm not doing anything illegal, and I didn't even have to tell you what I was doing. I could have stayed quiet, left my windows up, and not said a word to you. But I chose to be respectful to you, because I saw you had a kid, let you know why I was here. But still, they called the cops on me. This is the reason why I never tell anyone what I'm doing.
I can't speak for what other people do. I wasn't even home. I left and I'm here, and then I got 2 cop cars in front of my house.
Domino effect. You told someone, and someone went and reported me. So.
That's what a neighborhood does. We take care of each other. Who's
well,
that car
you could say, well, he's here for a good reason. At least that's what he said. Let's just take a picture of his car.
We got little girls. We got kids. And
I got kids in my neighborhood too, and I don't call the cops on people who park there. And you know what I do? I take note of the car, take a picture and document the license plate number, and watch.
Yeah.
There's no crime until there's a crime.
So what you'll need to do, and here's the problem. This is a private roadway, but the only thing is what he's saying. If the HOA has signs up saying that it's private property,
yeah,
or soliciting. We actually, if we had that up there and signs were on there, we could actually pull them out of the car and lock them up, turn the truck out.
They can't do that. You'd have to give me the opportunity to leave.
We don't have the signs up there. There's nothing that we can do to take action right now.
Mom,
Right
let me
now-
tell you how trespassing works. You'd have to give me the opportunity to leave, okay?
Exactly.
And he said
exactly.
he would pull me out the car. You see what?
No, I exactly said.
see what
We would have
happens?
to give you the chance to leave. We
You
would
see
tell
what
you to
happened?
leave.
No, he didn't. What was his words exactly? We could have pulled him
let
out
me-
of the car.
Let me, no, let me.
But I'm just saying,
restate
you
that.
see
I'm sorry.
why you
we
don't
would have
call
to let
cops?
you know and find out what's
Because
going on and why you're
ignorance
here,
is
and then
bliss, and people like this cause harm to innocent people like
No, I'm
me
not causing
who are doing
harm.
nothing wrong by pulling me out. And I will sue their department from now till to the end of time, okay? Especially
Sir,
him.
I misstated the term. Okay, what I said, we would make contact with you. Okay, and then if you refused to leave, then we would take action.
That is the correct procedure
I'm
right
sorry,
there, not
I'm
yank
sorry.
me out of the car.
I'm sorry.
All right? There's a proper procedure. I'm very well aware of all the procedures, okay? So that's why certain things can't fly by me. I know my rights.
I just want my daughter to come outside and feel
And I-
safe
yeah, and
in
I
our
understand
front
that,
yard.
too.
That's all I'm asking of you right now. That's the only thing I'm
But-
asking is for her to be. This is where they play. There's all this street here. I'm just. Will you please, with all
Will I
the
please what?
courtesy, just move there and you. Can
And
look
then
at
what?
whatever
Have
you
that
want.
neighbor call? When I'm right down here and you're aware of what I'm doing?
But nobody's outside over there.
What
My
difference
daughter
would it
wants to
make
play
if I
with her
park
friends.
on the other side of the street, opposite your house? How does that make you feel safer? Can you just explain that to me?
My kid doesn't want to come out. I talked to her about stuff, and it's just.
Mom,
she doesn't-
please teach your
Okay,
daughter
well,
the
you know
law
what?
and people's rights and tell them I'm not here to cause them any harm, okay?
It's not.
I didn't even wanna-
We
I'm
don't know
not
that.
saying you
We don't
are.
know who you are.
You know,
I don't know who she is.
But-
Let me
What
ask-
if she has a body in her basement right now? Do you know that?
No.
Okay,
Listen
I
to
don't
me.
know
Listen
that.
to me as a mom. You see, you're.
I'm a father, okay?
Well then, or
So,
as a father, listen
yes.
to me as a mom speak. I'm a mom, is what I'm saying. I know what you are.
Okay.
But what I'm saying is, my child came home and she's got 2 police cars. She's asking me who the car is. She heard me ask you who you were. You said who you were. I've got neighbors calling me, asking me who's that in front of your house. So they think it's me.
Okay.
And I calmed them by saying what it was. Well, nobody wants the girls to come outside and play
Okay.
because of all the wrong in the world. Not saying that you're doing it, but we'd be dumb if we just sent our daughters out here all willy-nilly to be snatched in a car.
Okay.
So now my daughter is nervous to come outside. That's all I'm standing here saying to you now because you're parked here.
Sure.
Thank you
And
for
that-
watching until the end of the video. From Port Orange, a coastal city in Florida with over 64,000 residents, to a gated neighborhood in the heart of Texas, where streets are managed by an HOA but remain open to the public, 2 ordinary citizens did something extraordinary. They didn't bow to authority, didn't back down from suspicion, and never surrendered their constitutional rights, even when questioned, threatened, or warned of potential force. In both encounters, there was no crime, no violence, no unlawful conduct, only the right to be left alone, and a choice. Stay silent in fear, or stand up, press record, and demand that those in power follow the very laws they're sworn to uphold. This lesson goes beyond ID refusal. It's about understanding. When you're not being detained, when you're on public property, and when there is no reasonable suspicion of a crime, you have the right to withhold your identity. Always ask, am I being detained? Am I suspected of committing a crime? If the answer is no, you have the right to leave, to remain silent, or to record for your own protection. Police may have authority, but the people have the Constitution and the law, and when properly understood, is the strongest defense against abuse of power. If you found value in this video, subscribe to Mr. White and drop a W in the comments below. We'll be back with more raw, real-world encounters. This isn't just content, this is the truth.